Hi, I'm Brett Twiggs, Systems Engineer with LANDesk.
And I'm David McCrae, Program Manager within Intel IT.
Let's take a look at one of my favorite parts to Intel vPro, the ability to do remote repair and diagnostics down the wire. Dave, what are some of the things you're seeing as far as the ability to use Intel vPro down the wire to fix problems?
Well, one of the examples that we've got started here within Intel IT is within the training rooms. We've had the ability to increase the number of training rooms and the number of systems while at the same time reducing the number of people it takes to manage those systems.
That's one of my favorite parts to Intel vPro, is the ability to reach out to a system that's maybe out of band. We're used to working from the LANDesk management console and doing a lot of things with systems as long as our agent's there and the OS is running. But what I love is the ability to now reach down underneath the operating system into the Intel vPro chipset from the management console, work with a system that's out of band or maybe that's hung up, won't boot. In some way you can't get to that system. In the past it was send somebody out, wheels on the street sort of a thing, to get somebody out to a system to actually work on it. And that was very expensive. Now we can reach down and do that without having to put an IT guy out there. So here's an example of an administrator. He's received a call from a user saying that their system won't boot. One of the first things we can do is right-click on this system within the management console, and we can go down and actually look at some of the Intel vPro options that we have there. The one we want is the remote boot manager. So we'll go into the remote boot manager and we'll reboot the system and see exactly what the user's seeing. One of the things that we have now that we've never had before is the ability to see serial over LAN. So as we reboot this system, we'll be able to see it go through post and watch the system boot up. So we can see exactly what the user's seeing. So I'll click on reboot. We'll go down and say we want to do a console redirection during that power on. And this will open a remote control viewer, but it's going to open a serial over LAN session within that. And so this serial over LAN session will allow us to go through and see exactly what the user is seeing down on their end. So I could be sitting in Texas, the user could be in Maryland, and we're watching exactly what's happening on that system. And so we'll be able to see here that it comes up, and in a minute it'll come up and say that a file is missing or corrupt, and this is what's preventing that system from booting. Okay, so we can see that the system does have a problem. Now what I want to do is be able to use the Intel vPro technology to go in and let's do another reboot, but now let's tell that system not to boot off of its hard drive. Let's actually do an IDE redirect and redirect that to an image file here on my console. And so we'll do the same serial over LAN window there. We'll redirect it to an ISO file that I already have on my system or out on the network somewhere. And that client system will now boot up off of this ISO file. What this ISO file is going to do, we could put a lot of diagnostic tools in here and push those down through this ISO file, but we're going to take this one step further. What I've done is we have an ISO file here that will actually tell this system to reboot off the rescue and recovery partition. This is a Lenovo system that's got the built-in rescue and recovery, which is handy if somebody goes out to the system. Now with Intel vPro, we can actually reboot that system and have it come up into the rescue and recovery tools. Right now it's trying to load the LANDesk remote control. We've injected that into the rescue and recovery tools also, so that as this goes from serial over LAN and starts to boot the WinPE, it loads the LANDesk remote control and it'll automatically transition into the LANDesk GUI remote control. That gives us a high-speed GUI environment to be able to do our diagnostics and fixing. One of the great tools within Lenovo's rescue and recovery right now is the Express Repair, as we can see up here. And so Express Repair will go out and check all my system and boot files and automatically try and find what the problem is. And in this case, as we kind of drop the details down, we can see that it's found out that HAL is missing or corrupt. And so we could go into advanced if we wanted to do a full restore, run some antivirus, whatever it might be. In this case, we'll just say fix the file. And so it'll go out and replace that missing file. We'll restart the system. And it'll come right back up in a minute here, and we'll watch it come back up into the full windows. Hopefully everything is running. And this is a good example of where we used to send a Tier 3 guy out to do the rescue and recovery tools at the client site or use his tools to see what the problem is. But now we can actually have a Tier 1 guy that can sit down and probably fix this problem and not even have to dispatch anybody.
And the key part of that is the cost of doing that, not only in the actual support costs. We know that it's up to 7 times more expensive to send out that guy to do the physical touch, but also the productivity time that's that's improved as well because of the ability to do that.